Christie, so in the third quarter, Caitlin is, rubbing up the crowd and whatever, but is clearly, and she said it too, getting, there's that line, right? And you didn't want to cross it. What, do you say anything to her at that point? She came to the bench, obviously, for those last few minutes of the third quarter, and she then seemed to be fine as far as the fourth quarter emotionally, right? And just back in it. Is there a switch that you can kind of?
Well, that's pretty much what we talked about. That felt like playoff basketball. And that's what I just kept telling our players. That's who they are. They're a good veteran team. They came out in the third quarter and they got in our ass. And when they did, we didn't handle it very well. And then we let the officials rattle us as well. And that's growing and understanding. Like, if you just give a team like that a little bit, they'll take advantage of you. And that's what we did. But defensively, we've just been much better since the break. And we gave up 80 points in 3 quarters. You don't give yourself a chance. And a lot of it, we just were watching a few clips. A lot of it was us. We weren't where we were supposed to be, just in like a 5-man show. We weren't at the nail. We weren't in 2-9. We weren't in help. We weren't in gaps. We let them get by us and with dribble penetration too much. Our goal is to contest every single shot. We didn't get out on our closeouts and contest. And they're a great shooting team.
Go Keen, then we'll go back to Christine.
Coach, throughout your win streak, you had that kind of consistent contribution from another player like Melissa or Temi or Lexi. Just how important is it to get that fourth contributor either as a starter or off the bench?
Yeah, that's huge. I think tonight we were playing okay, and then we got to that third quarter and got rattled, and I think we just tried to do it ourselves a lot instead of the way that we've been able to get out of those moments as of late when we've been able to stop people's runs. And we just let it snowball on us. And that's something that we've been better at and that we've got to make sure that we clean up, because this is someone we could possibly play. And just gave us a taste of what it feels like that playoff basketball. So we just got to be ready for that, ready to stop those runs and not let just our emotions get the best of us.
We'll go Christine, then we'll go Matt.
Christie, so in the third quarter, Caitlin is, rubbing up the crowd and whatever, but is clearly, and she said it too, getting, there's that line, right? And you didn't want to cross it. What, do you say anything to her at that point? She came to the bench, obviously, for those last few minutes of the third quarter, and she then seemed to be fine as far as the fourth quarter emotionally, right? And just back in it. Is there a switch that you can kind of turn on and off, or how do you coach someone who's obviously, the crowd is loving it, right? Yeah. But clearly you also don't want to have her get another technical foul or whatever.
Yeah, and I think that's, she's just so passionate and so, she's just a hell of a, her competitive spirit is like, it reminds me of Diana Taurasi. She's that. And so when she is upset or mad, like that's what we've been working on, trying to figure out how to get past those moments. I was worried she was going to pick up a T, in that third quarter, and thank goodness that she didn't. But that's growth, and she's got to learn that in those moments. I need my point guard to have a cool head, get us in whatever we need to be in offensively, and then if it's not a foul call that you thought, you got to get back. You got to get back and transition and help our team get stops. So we're working on those things. That's what a young team. That's what you do, is you try to figure out, talk about these moments, watch them in video, show them where okay, this just can't happen because it caused this, and this. There's a reaction, to all of our actions, and we've got to make sure that we don't put ourselves in a worse spot with those kind of moments.
Go down the line: Matt, Chloe, James, then Jacob.
Yeah, in the third quarter, coming out of half, Minnesota was forcing a lot of turnovers on the pick and roll.
Yes.
Just collapsing in that high action. From your viewpoint on the sidelines, were you just actively wanting to change that? Was it maybe just realizing a little bit too late that you needed to change something? What was kind of the game plan there?
No, I think there were some times probably when we go back and watch, we probably needed to execute something that was a little longer. We are second or first in the league in points in the paint, or I think third or fourth, but we tied Minnesota, who isn't very good at points in the paint. I think they're maybe 11 or 12. And so we have to take advantage of where we have the advantage. And I think there were times where we needed to just come down, execute, get a paint touch, and then play out of that. And we were taking some early shots that didn't go our way, and then long shots end up being long rebounds, which is hard to get back in transition defense.
Chloe, then James.
Yeah, Caitlin talked about a play in the fourth quarter where you guys were down 1, and then she tried to bounce the ball, I believe it was to Temi, and it was intercepted pretty easily, and how she thought that was a bad read. Just how do you try to coach her through that, and kind of if she wants to take that shot herself?
Yeah, I mean, she came right to the bench and talked about it, that it was a bad pass, bad decision. I mean, you know, we just have to make sure we take care of that basketball in those moments. Like we have to get a good shot, have some good execution, and give ourselves a chance. That I think that was even like with 16 seconds on the shot clock. So, you know, we didn't even use up any clock when we cut it to 1. But I mean, she knows, and she will learn from it. She's been learning from those kind of things. And we just got to move forward and not make those same mistakes.
Last two, James and Jacob.
Christie, you talked about Fee before the game, in the third quarter in particular. What did you see from her that was making it so difficult to just contain some of the things she was doing?
Yeah, she went to the 3, and we were, she was trying to post us up, which was tough, and Lexi was in foul trouble a little bit, so she was trying not to be as physical, but you just can't play that way with her. And so we were trying to make some adjustments and get a big on her down there. But I mean, when you have the ability to move someone like Fee to play the 3 and then play the 4 according to who's guarding them to get the advantage, I mean, that's just tough. And that just, as the defense, you've got to recognize those things early, and we're not there yet at recognizing those things early enough and making our adjustments. You know, we talked about several things that we're going to need to do if this is who we are matched up with in the playoffs. She's a heck of a player, and her versatility is, you know, really tough.
Jacob, last one.
Kelsey said the message from some of the vets after the game was that this is kind of the standard now, coming up against a team like Minnesota. Is that one of the takeaways for you, that, you know, if this is going to be a team you're going to play, that this is almost a higher standard now?
Yeah, I think, you know, at halftime, we were doing things okay. I don't think we were doing them at the highest level that we've been doing them. And just, you know, Minnesota is the, you know, second, third place team in the league right now. We're trying to be that. We're trying to get to the point where, you know, you make mistakes against teams like that and they will punish you for them. And we just make too many of those, especially when we brought it back and got it to within 1 and then also 5. We had some really bad moments where we just didn't execute or didn't get a stop. And they hit like 4 threes in the fourth quarter and had an and 1. I mean, that's just, you just can't let those things happen. You know, got to take those away. And we put them at the free throw line too much. That's discipline. Our foul discipline wasn't good. When we're frustrated like that and we're getting beaten dribble penetration, we slap down. I mean, that's an easy call for an official. And that's just discipline things that we got to get better at.
All right, thank you, everybody.